Hello there, Steven here. OpenTelemetry is an open source, cloud-native solution for telemetry. Telemetry is the process of recording and transmitting the readings of an instrument. In the context of software, we usually use logging to obtain telemetry. However, tracing was introduced for more complex situations like in cloud environment. For example, in this distributed application, a request might come in and go through different Kubernetes pods. If we use simple logging, then we need to dig through the logs of each pod to see what happened to a specific request, which could be very difficult. So instead, what tracing does is they create spans and group the logs together with the unit of work into the span. The spans are sent through the chain of pods together with the request itself. Therefore, we can get the logging information grouped with each other in a logical order. They also have trace contacts, so we know the relationships between the spans. OpenTelemetry is first a set of specification of how the spans and other data structure should be formatted. It is also a set of tools that conform to these specifications for each language. It is popular right now because it is open source. It is vendor and tool agnostic, which means you can swap your framework and language and still have all your telemetry collection working. It can also be plugged into visualization tools, which we'll touch on later. OpenTelemetry is a Cloud-Native Computing Foundation CNCF project. The CNCF is a part of the Linux Foundation and owns projects like Kubernetes and Argo CD. Previously, OpenTelemetry was merged from OpenTracing from CNCF and OpenCensus from Google. To get an idea, let's look at how we use OpenTelemetry. Usually we would use a language-specific SDK. As we can see, OpenTelemetry has a lot of language support, and their documentations are quite nice. Let's look at the Python getting started guide for OpenTelemetry. First, they introduce a web app and just use logging for it. Then, by running the app under the OpenTelemetry wrapper, the logs are automatically translated into OpenTelemetry logs. Alternatively, to get more control, the users could also use manual instrumentation by creating a tracer, getting a span out of the tracer, and setting the attribute on the span. The span information would then be recorded. They can also store metrics, which are values that persist and change over time. To get metrics, first they need a meter and create a matrix such as this counter on top of the meter, and then they can mutate the metrics. So instead of printing out the telemetry as JSON, one could also use a collector such as Jaeger, which also is under CNCF and provides nice visualizations for the events happening, their time spans, relationships, and their detailed information. OpenTelemetry is gaining a lot of traffic and its GitHub repositories. As we can see here, it seems to be a very promising open source solution. It also has integrations into frameworks such as the Phoenix web framework and the Rust tracing. So overall, OpenTelemetry looks very promising. I hope you enjoy this. Bye, y'all.